you owns a credit. Every one of you owns a credit card. Yes. I would like to ask you, how many of you would be very concerned if your credit card details were available on the dark web? Would it be a serious concern or it wouldn't concern you at all? Right. Nimesh, what's the response? Obviously, it's a serious concern, isn't it? Because once you knew that your credit card details are available on the dark web, you will definitely inform the bank and block the card and eventually stop any kind of untoward fraudulent transactions that can happen, right? Drawing parallels to this particular question on this particular example, let's move on to how this same kind of example can work for your digital security. Now, I am presenting a lot of snippets of uh, Indian companies who were breached. Either there was an attack on ransomware or there was some breach that has happened. This news was in the public domain. Now, before these breaches happened, actually what was there? There was an intel which was published on the dark web. Each of this would have some precedence. The only thing is that there was nobody who was knowing about this intel being shared, and there was no action taken on it. Hence, this untoward actions, untoward eventualities that happened were not mitigated. Now, this brings to the second question that I would like to ask for the audience is how confident are you that your organization sensitive data isn't exposed to the external dark web and deep web? Is it that is it all possibility that my data would be exposed, or no? There is no possibility at all. How many of you are very confident that there is no possibility of your data being exposed or will it be exposed? Oh, 67% says all possibility, 33% says no possibility. We would definitely like to engage with the people who have said no possibility because you need to do a scan on the dark web to find out whether their data is being there or not. Even we, before we embarked as Logix, before we embarked on the journey of external risk management, we were also of the opinion that we have put in so many security solutions in our entire stack. We are literally covering every doors and windows that can have a peep into our setup and our data would not be available on the dark web. But we were mistaken because our business doesn't work in silos. We have our vendors, our associates, our consultants. So businesses work in an ecosystem, and we share a lot of information with other partners. Now, this share in the sense this is for business purposes. Example, my chartered accountant would have some information. Why other consultant would have some information. Now, it is all possible that they are breached and that data of mine or data of Logix is available on the dump. So this is something which you are not considering because you're just thinking that I have put in all my security measures and I my data would not be available on the dump. Now, how does so it is evident that all the breaches that happen, 83% of the breaches happen because there are some stolen credentials. There are some brand abuses at a website or a social impersonation that can happen, or there can be a because of limited visibility to external digital footprint, these attacks or these breaches happen. And this is a very known fact. It is not that it just suddenly out of the blue some attacker starts attacking you. It doesn't happen that way. There is some reconnaissance that happens. There is some data being exposed because of which they get a they have a they will be able to breach your defenses. Now this brings to the third question. If your organization faced credential leaks, be it your credentials of your Office 65 user credentials or your application passwords or your server passwords or your firewall passwords. It could be You manage so many credentials in your organization. Also, there could be your brand, which could be your company brand, your social media presence. What if that is impersonated? Would it be just a major financial loss to the company, or would it be a significant productivity loss, or it could be only a brand reputation loss, or do you think it is all of the above? 82% of the respondents said that it is all of the above. It is very correct. You will not just face a financial loss or a productivity loss. It is a complete loss. It is a loss of all kinds. Now, why does this happen? Why do you think these kind of threats? Why is your data being exposed to the external world? First reason is unmanaged assets. As I told you, your business doesn't work in a silo. You work with a lot of vendors, customers. A lot of information is shared across the ecosystem, and many endpoints or assets are not managed by you. So obviously, there can be certain breaches that happen on the endpoint, and your data is exposed to the world. Second, most important reason, or the one of the most significant reason, is shadow IT. How many of you happen to keep your Active Directory login password as the password for your Make My Trip or your other uh, personal online portals that you happen to operate? Most of them. Why? Because it is easy to remember those passwords. Now, when they post those passwords on various other sites, which are personal sites, and those get breached, the attacker will eventually try to attack your corporate ID as well because he has the password, and all likely it is the same password. That's called shadow IT. Third, obviously, is stolen credentials. Fourth is brand impersonation. And fifth is third party vulnerabilities. Now, your website or your portals that you operate could have vulnerabilities, or your vendor's website could have vulnerabilities, which has your data. All these can be a potential risk for your data getting exposed to the external world. To know more about this topic, to know more about how external threats are being published, how these data can be known to you, how this intel can be known to you, and how you can mitigate this particular risk. I would like to call upon Amrinder, who is a subject matter expert on this particular uh, topic of external risk management. He'll explain you how the solution works from Checkpoint and how you can mitigate all the risks that keep coming time and again. So over to you, Amrinder.
So thanks a lot, Prashant, for your lovely introduction, and I would like to really thanks for every each and every participant who has joined today to understand more on the ERM and how exactly this whole story works, right? So let me actually start with something different today, and like what you are looking here is like some dual nature of technology, right? Like specifically, if I talk about one side, there is always a lighter side, and like on the lighter side we always see innovations, automations, faster business, better productivity, the uh, assets which are visible to us, right? Like firewalls, EDR, the endpoints. That is one part which is visible to us, but along with this it also comes with a dark side where you really don't know what is there in the, or like what is there on the behind, right? Like because today attackers don't start from the inside, it actually start like the cyber attacks nowadays has started actually from the outside of your organization. I would say like they are mapping your attack surface, they are collecting your credentials, they are completely monitoring your employees, they study your suppliers, and they actually know what you are doing right before they do the next step. So that's where like if you come on the dark side now, if you see on the left side this Mr. Edmund, right? Let me make this little more real for you. Like imagine this is an employee, and on a day-to-day task, what we do, like what IT admin actually do, right? For his ease of concern, he saves or his credentials, his usernames, passwords in a notepad, right? And that's where the major issue is. Like although he is doing his job. Ideally, it's not a recommended part, but he's not aware that he has a info stealer malware which is already sitting inside his laptop or on his system, right? What actually happened with one of our customer or one of the client is similar case. There was an info stealer on his machine. This Mr. Edman, he was doing his day-to-day task. What happened is we suddenly got an alert and we saw that there is an machine which was infected by a malware, which is nothing but a info stealer malware. And we found a very crucial information on the console where, if you see over here, in the log file, there was literally the username, the password, along with the machine IP address or the server or the application, whatever it is. So it clearly showcase and gives the attacker a upper hand that this is what I have in my environment, and kindly please take this key and open my log. So it's a very major thing which was actually detected. And if you scroll, if you see, if you have seen this at the bottom, we actually found out that notepad file also, which was actually saved by the admin on his user. So this is seriously something very interesting and very shocking to the customer when we showcased, and we remediated on a on a timely manner so that nothing got compromised at a major task. Again, coming to a second dark side, application nowadays is a core business perspective, right? Like today, application is everything, whether it is an e-commerce platform, whether it is a banking, whether it is something called as internal business portal, maybe a Salesforce application which everybody is using, right? So as we all know that behind this application there are a lot of source code, there are a lot of backend things getting function which function in the backend to make and compile everything together, right? So these source codes has a lot of crucial information, like it might have some host name, it might have some credentials hidden into it for making that API calls, right? So what if I would say that again, we detected one of a very major leading e-commerce customer where the source code of his application, critical application, was actually available over the GitHub. So we detected the entire and exact GitHub URL. If you see in the snippet again, you can actually navigate to that GitHub. You can clone that GitHub ID and you can download the entire source code. You can make a complete running clone application of the same website in your environment, and you can do wonders if you're an attacker, right? So that's where we detected. We actually showcased what piece of code was important to the company which might get compromised easily, and along with who was the owner of the source code developer and all that stuff was basically given in the exact thing. So if you see over here in the expose code, there was a critical API key or secret key which was openly formatted in a plain text, which once read by the customer, he actually used it to do a man in the middle attack, and he created a phishing website similar to what it was looking in the production. So again, this is very dangerous. It's very crucial that we absolutely protect our source code, and if not protect that, at least we should be having a visibility whether it is available over the darknet or not. That's where the checkpoints ERM again comes very handy to you over here. Moving further again, one more very like classic example, we all love shopping, right? I personally love shopping. I go to marketplaces, I go to Amazon. What if I would say I can also go to a darknet marketplace and I can actually purchase a critical information or a critical piece of information which can give me a very good insights about your organization. Just for example, like if I uh, see if you see this detection again, there was a employee PI data which was available for sale over the darknet, and it literally gives me chills after looking out what information it gave me. So the CEO of the company, where he exactly stays, I can actually see his house image, uh, which was actually taken by a Google snippet, and it was showcased to me. So this is the image which I'm talking about, where I can actually see where the CEO stays. And not only this, but the other information, critical information, like what is his phone number, what is his username, what is his password, how his yeah, like LinkedIn profile looks like. Every single PIA data is available. Not only PIA data, but other aspects are also available for sale over the darknet, which the attackers, with which the malicious users actually go on the marketplace to purchase and do their malicious into, like, to plant their malicious content. So that's the job of ERM, that we will be definitely monitoring if any such of data is getting sold on the portal, and we can give you an alert that so and so data is available for sale, which you can actually take it down using the takedown services. So now, if we step back again and look this again from a broader perspective on which even Prashant talked about. So this is exactly what organizations are dealing with today. Like if you can see here, external threats are basically the major responsible, like they are the major chunk of the reason why breaches are happening. Like 83% of breaches are happening for via the external threats. Why? The very classic example which we saw is this stolen credentials, which is available easily over the darknet. I can use it. I can directly log into your email. I can directly log in into your servers, and I can do wonders if I'm an attacker. Second is the brand abusing, the social impersonation, which causes a reputational damage to your company, to your organization, which impacts majorly, again, for getting breached via the social platforms. And yes, the last part, if you see, what is the major reason is getting the visibility into external digital footprint. As I just mentioned in the start, like if we can see firewall, right? We can log in into firewall. We are maintaining a asset inventory sheet in our organization, where whatever assets we are having, whatever IT components we are owning, we are making a track of it, right? But what about your digital footprints, which is available to the darknet, to the external world? Do you maintain a inventory list? If the answer is yes, it's well and good. If the answer is no, that is where the major problem is with majority of the people, because we cannot protect until and unless we get a proper visibility, and that's where it makes it very challenging to detect and mitigate the vulnerabilities associated to whatever digital assets we are having on the external world. So that again makes the external threats the number one reason for the data breaches. Now, again, if you see to the security operations challenges which are being faced, right? Like now, even if the organization start realizing that these external risks are the next challenge, which actually comes, and on an average, if you see on the enterprise today, it is around 40 to 50, like on an average, 40 to 50 security tools are being used inside a organization, right? Or in a company. But these are the point solutions, and not a consolidated solution which actually gives you the complete asset part, inventory detail, or other things. So as these are the point solutions, it actually creates a very thin line of gap and a thin line of exposure for the external attackers to actually breach into your company asset, to enter into your network and do whatever wonders they want to do, right? And this is where exactly 25% of the timing or the false positives are getting raised by the security operation teams, and 70% of the time is getting resolved into solving the problems related to that alerts which are getting raised. So with that said, what we need to do it, like what we need, like what is the solution to whatever problems we discussed till now, right? So as we understood that the problem is the external threats, like external threats is basically coming with a lack of visibility, and absolutely with the overwhelmed security teams alert, like security alerts which the teams are basically facing, right? So the next question remains is what actually solves this, and like how at Checkpoint, after acquiring Cyberent, we are doing it, right? So Cyberint is basically a platform which was known for its darknet monitoring, which Checkpoint actually acquired it. And it comes with a concept of external risk management by bringing together multiple capabilities into a single unified platform. Like instead of having separate tools for threat intelligence, brand protection, attack surface management, and dark web monitoring, all of this is consolidated into a single solution. Now, if you look at a broader picture and the capability perspective, it actually starts with a strong technical innovation where your assets are actually discovered. Uh, Once the assets are discovered, what risk comes with that asset which got discovered, and how exactly the risk can be mitigated, remediated, and after that, what exactly the posture looks like. That what is consolidated in a single platform, and it is being provided to you. Now, let's simply like we discussed very two basic like we discussed on the part of what is external threats. Now, if I talk and if I want to consolidate the entire conversation which I had into two parts or into two subjects, so these are this will be the main two like division which I can actually do. Like what assets you need to protect, and what are the risk which is associated to your assets which the organization is facing. So at the very top part, if you see, all your digital assets is consolidated by bringing your digital footprint plus your internal environment. Now, in your internal environment, your firewall, your EDR, it plays a very vital role. But for your external digital footprint, your domains, your application related data, your brand, your logos, your social media, how it is looking like, if there are any phishing happening over it, if there are any brand impersonation happening over it, how you'll get a visibility and what are the risks associated via it, like if there are any CV exploits available to the application which is hosted on a public facing platform, and what are the uh, compromised credentials which is available. So this actually divides two part, which is the light side and the dark side, which actually is the focus of the Checkpoints ERM solution, and we do it in a simple format. So now that we are clearly understanding the problem where the external exposure lack, like there is a clear visibility lack of the external exposure and between the security operations, and at its core platform is basically it is designed to give you a comprehensive external risk management where we are doing it in a different and consolidated platform, where if you see on the comprehensive ERM platform management, we are actually discovering your assets. Then basis on what assets are discovered, there are more than 2 billion IP addresses which are actually continuously getting scanned, which are getting analyzed in a real-time basis, on which once the analysis is done, whatever relevant threats is associated with that particular IP addresses, with that particular asset which got discovered, it will be given a impactful intelligence which will actually help you to reduce the risk. So if you see, 98% of the phishing website takedown success rate has been achieved just because of the superior visibility and the impactful intelligence which has been combined in a consolidated platform, which is again being powered by a AI mechanism. So we have multiple engines which runs in the backend. If I talk about, there are around 95 engines which is running for your threat prevention, for your intelligence, out of which 53 engines are completely AI based engines, and it is powered by AI. So AI is being a buzzword since 3 4 years, but if you see Cyberint, they have actually acquired and adopted this AI mechanism since 2016 and 2017, where all that AI and ML machine learning algorithms were built by the team, and it was actually integrated with the platform to give you the advanced version of the analysis and the detections of the IOCs. Moving further, these are the main core 5 pillars, I would say, of ERM. And what we do is if you see, we start again with the surface monitoring, right? Where whatever digital asset associated with your domain is will be discovered. Like what I mean by discovered by your domain is, suppose there is suppose you are having multiple domains, right? xyz.com. I'll be putting xyz.com into the ERM. I'll be doing a thorough scan of your domain. Whatever asset which got associated, which I found, or which are found on the darknet, or which is available to the external industry, will be discovered. And whatever shadow IT assets are associated with that will also be discovered. Like not only the domain website, not only the open assets, but whatever subdomains are there, that will also be discovered under a single roof. And once it is discovered, the visibility is given to us. We will be doing a thorough CVEs scan. Vulnerability scans will be going to run on it, and the open CVEs which is associated with that particular risk, that particular asset will be showcased over there, where we are doing active exposure validation by doing and validating and updating the global threat intel which we are having in the backend. So that's where the second and the third pillar come into the picture, where we are having a threat intel platform again associated with the ERM platform, where we are giving some enriched IOC feeds to it. What I mean by enriched IOC feed is, suppose your domain is related to your finance, or maybe your domain is related to pharmacy. So whatever alerts are actually risky basis on your domain, that IOCs will be prioritized first, and it will be enriched onto your scanning, which will be happened during the attack surface monitoring. What this will do is it will keep you on the top of your industry-based attacks, cyber attacks, and it will secure it beforehand, or it will do a pre-sanitization of your malwares and remediation part. So this is what the global threat intel has the capability, and we do keep a ransomware watch and other threat landscape watch also as a watchtower which is available. Coming to the third pillar again, if you see, it is related to again the global threat intel platform, but now this will be monitoring on your darknet interface. So any thing which is associated with your domain, whether it is a credential, whether it is something related to your ports, whether something it is related to some fraud, whatever is associated to that domain, a thorough darknet scanning will be done, and it will be detected on the targeted threat intel module, and it will be showcased again to you. So the example which we saw, that there is a stolen credential which is available on the darknet. So this is the model which actually plays a vital role to detect it and showcase it to you. Then the fourth pillar is protecting on your brand image, because uh, creating a brand is very tough, right? But it just require one uh, spoofing domain or impersonated domain to spoil that image. So that's where this fourth pillar will be taking care about your brand reputation, and will become continuously monitoring if any look-alike domain is getting created, whether some phishing or some fake website, some fake LinkedIn profiles are getting created associated to your brand. We'll be detecting it and will be showcasing to you as a real-time alert. Not only your domains related to your URLs, but if you are having any application associated to your brand, whether it is some uh, whatever, suppose HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank, they have their own banking application, right? If anything which is available over the Play Store, over the iOS App Store, which looks similar to it, we'll be detecting it, and again, an alert will be given to you. And the last is very important, which actually not focuses only on your digital assets, but also on the partners who are associated to you. Suppose I'm uh, communicating with you on a daily basis, right? If I am at a risk, if my email address or my domain was used in a compromised, indirectly even you are at a risk, right? So that's where this supply chain intelligence gives you a complete chain of visibility, where whatever vendors, third party vendors you are interacting, whether they are at risk or not. So it really plays a very good role for giving and keeping you one step ahead of the attackers, uh, for that pre sanitized of attack detection. Once this is done, once you have a complete visibility of what is there, the major part is your takedown services, where it's not only that you're detecting it, you're not keeping a watch guard, right? What is important is how you remove it from the darknet, how you protect yourself. So that's where the remediation and managed takedown services actually comes into the picture, where if any brand impersonation page is found out, if any phishing image, a phishing link, if any stolen credential is available over the darknet or over to or exposed to the external threat market, we will be able to take it down or remove it completely from the available sources. Now, whether if it is available in Telegram channels, whether it is available on some other platform where this data is getting sold, we will be coordinating with those entities with those parameters, and we will be negotiating it, and accordingly the services will be completely taken, like that data which is available will be completely removed off from the internet. And that's where this threat intelligence service also comes into the picture, where it actually gives you more visibility of getting and getting like negotiation done with the ransom attackers who ask you. So suppose there are any ransomware attack which has happened, if you want to negotiate with them, so we have some threat intel services which is available, like on behalf of you, will be able to actually negotiate it with them. That's where if you see the statistics about on the takedown services which we are offering is 99. We have achieved 98% industry leading takedown services, where for your phishing impersonation takedown success, and whether it is credential which are leaked within 72 hours, we will be able to actually negotiate with that person over the darknet, and we'll be able to clean it off completely. And as of now, in like till now, in only in 2024 we have actually done more than 10,000 takedown services. In 25 it was into 3x more, and we are actually focusing for 26 even more for the takedown services. So this platform is actually not only validated and used by enterprises, but it is also preferred by the industry analyst. So if you see Gartner, we are recognized by Foresters, we have been recognized by Gigamon, and we have been awarded many awards like High Performer, Best Results, Best Relationship, Best Leader in the Mid Market sector. So these are a few industry grade recognitions which actually we have awarded with. So the ask is simple. So if I'm talking about all these features, right, how we can actually benefit uh, you in terms of the demonstration value, what we are showcasing it right now. So in simple step, we can actually do a thorough assessment of your domain, where we will be simply putting and scanning your domain. We will be showcasing it, what all risk you are associated with, what all data is available already on the darknet monitoring, like on the darknet, and which is visible to your attackers. And we will be creating a simple report with the help of absolutely with help of Logix, where they can actually showcase you and give a thorough overview, bird's eye overview of what exactly your domain looks from an attacker's perspective. So that's what we can do as a product evaluation process for you. Now actually let me showcase you and take you through the domain console of how exactly this portal looks like. That would really be more interesting, and this is the favorite part of mine, because theory is okay, but let's see how it exactly looks in action. Portal looks like very interesting. It will give you complete insights of how many alerts, how many, what exactly your overall domain looks like how many digital assets you have. So this is where once we add your domain, it will give you a complete shocking information, whether if I ask you a simple question before the POC or before onboarding your domain, that how many assets do you own, your answer would be roughly around 500, 600, absolutely depending on the size of your organization. But the moment we scan your domain, it gives uh, the number of digital assets actually increases by into 20 times. Why? Because 50 was the number which you gave, which you already had a tracking Excel, right? But the numbers which is being displayed over here is something related which is not under your visibility, which is completely available on the darknet, but you are not aware about it. So this is the very first part where we'll be actually showcasing what all digital assets are associated to your domain, and out of which how many alerts you are having, active alerts, how many attacks, I mean, like on different severities, what are the uh, malwares, what are the attacks which are basically happening. So this gives you a complete visibility. Now, if I just simply come to the navigation bar and I select the alert center, by this page only will give you what is happening into your like what all risks are getting associated or what is being detected as a threat to your domain. So let me just pick one of the example. If you see, there is one simple like detection for active phishing website. Let us deep dive what exactly information this gives. Okay, so it gives you the complete category, what sort of attack it is. The category is phishing. What type of attack it is? It is phishing website. What is the impact? So this completely detects on your brand impersonation and the brand monitoring. It is actually damaging your brand, right? So what is the confidence level? We are 100% confidence that this is not just a suspicious, but this is actually uh, exposure, or this is actually an attack which is happening in a very live format. What is the URL which we found malicious? So this is the exact URL which was actually found and marked as malicious. Now, not only we are giving you some details, but we are actually giving you a exact visual representation of what is wrong. So if you see Amazon, right, this exactly looks the same. But if you see the URL which actually got malicious, it's something not related to Amazon, right? It's fake website. So that's why it has been marked as phishing. If you scroll down, we'll give you some more insight on what exactly this is happening, where this is a detailed summary of what is wrong with this and how and why it was detected as phishing. If you scroll down more, we'll give some more insights on how uh, this all started and why we are detecting this as a malicious. So the very first thing is we are checking the whois record, where if you see, this domain was actually created just 2 days ago. So this is one information which actually validates that this is 100% exposure detection. Second is we can actually give you the entire hierarchy of what was the source, where it is hosted, what all other URLs are actually related to this, and using this you can actually do a detailed deep dive and threat intel sort of thing, which can give you some more insight information of what is going uh, around this website, and you can actually request for a investigation also. So once you request this investigation, the team will be taking charge. It will be negotiating. It will be checking thoroughly with the DNS records. Whatever findings we'll be having, will be giving to you, and you can actually then request a takedown also, so that uh, we will be completely removing this website, which is actually live on the internet, and it will be completely removed permanently. So this is one thing. Now there are other parameters, like if I just go to attack surface monitoring, I can go to exposure items, and I can actually showcase you what is exposed with related to whatever domain or whatever asset we have discovered using your domain, right? So these are some few parameters which you can actually go through it. The very first thing is what are the compromised credentials inside my domain. So if you see, with this domain which we have added, there are 64,000, more than 64,000 credentials which has already been compromised and is available on the darknet for the attackers to buy it and simply log in into your system. How we are doing it? Simple. We actually uh, completely monitor the darknet activities, which is whatever is happening. Whenever your domain related email address is found, or whatever domain related content is found, we simply dig dive into it, and we categorize it into multiple parameters, and this is how we detect that this was a compromised credentials, because the password was showcased onto it. Now, if you see, we also see that what was the first seen date when it was actually first available on the darknet, and what was the last seen date. So this actually gives you very crucial information to actually you would ask, right, what are the false positive rates, right? So by this feature, you can actually ignore if it is the data is something which is very old, but as is a demo portal, but when you actually scan your entire domain, will be shocking that the recent detections are also being detected over here. And if it is a very recent alert which was detected, you can simply uh, initiate a workflow where we support that whatever credentials are there, we can integrate with your IDP, we can negotiate with them, and we can create a workflow where your user's password will be resetted it automatically. So that is also available. So that workflow you can actually create it, and the moment it generates any real-time alert, it will be automatically resetted it, like the password will be automatically reset. Second thing, if I would like to showcase you, is the exposed ports, which is one of the major or very first step of the attack. So as an attacker, the very first step is I'll be scanning. I can use some Nmap parameters. I'll scan your entire network, and once I found that this is your critical application, this is a public IP, this is what the IP of that application is, where you have hosted some critical files and some database. I can clearly see that these are the ports which are associated and which are open and which ideally should not be, right. So I can make use of the vulnerabilities which is available related to this port, and I can actually bypass and dig dive into your environment. So this is very crucial information where we are actually giving you the exact IP address. Again, the first seen, last seen data is available over here to just to validate whether it is a valid and active detection or not. Then we can showcase you something related to your SSL version, whether it is whether your website which is hosted to public, whether they are having outdated SSL version or not, and whether they are having some weak cipher suits. If you want to upgrade the algorithms, if you want to upgrade it maybe to TLS 1.2, if it is available, we can highlight you that part again over here, and other details with respect to your website and certificates. This is one thing. Again, if you want to see, we can showcase you what are the open URLs, or what are the so if you have hosted any application, what are the open URL related to your DNS, which is actually exposed to the internet, and I can use that to again run down an attack on your environment. So this, I'm so sorry, this is taking some time to get load, but it will actually give you some uh, web interfaces URLs which is available to the attackers. And again, what are the risks associated to it? What ports it has? What username it has? What password it is having? Yeah. So if you see what this is the asset, and what is the URL associated to it, whether it is some uh, compliance based application which you have hosted on this server, whether it is some pre-exam, so whatever application you're having, right. So we'll be giving that along with the exact image of how that exactly looks, and the other asset details like on which server it is hosted, whether it is Windows and all that part. So this actually gives you a complete visibility of what is going around in your environment and what are the risks associated to it. So there are a lot of things, but let's skip to the next section, which is nothing but your digital risk protection, where your fake pages, your domain lookalikes will be detected and will be showcased to you. So if, let's say, Nick is a crucial employee of you, whether this Instagram ID, not only if Instagram, but if he's having some LinkedIn profile which is getting impersonated, it will be detected over here. And this is giving just a detection. Now whether it is a valid one, whether it is a spoof one, that's where the services, managed services from Logix will come into picture, where they will able to help you out to dig down and bifurcate whether this is actually a impersonation, or whether it is actually a lookalike domain. If yes, we'll be able to help you to mark it out, and we'll be able to help you to take it down. So it's not only with related to Instagram, LinkedIn, but whatever social media platforms we are having as of now in India or over the internet will be detecting. uh, basis on the domain and the username which will be added and which will be discovered as a digital assets. So this is for your social media pages. If you come to lookalike domains, whatever domains were actually created similar to what is in the production will be discovered, and it will be again showcased you whether it is a live domain which is still active or whether it is just created and it was just shut down. So this is one part. Now we have something called as CV intelligence. Again, the two main pillars where we are actually focusing, and we are feeding a lot of enriched IOCs. We are collecting it from across the world and we are publishing it, right? So whatever CVs with associated, so suppose you are using Fortinet, just for example, I'm not dipping down, but if you're using Fortinet, whatever CVs your Fortinet is having, or even if you are using any other product or other application which is associated with your domain, whatever CVs it actually has is it discovers, and it will be giving you the CV ID, the cyber score. And somehow this is a demo portal. I'll not be able to showcase you that part, but it will actually showcase you the associated applications. And once you click on it, you can actually do a remediation as well. Like what are the remediation steps we'll be able to provide you, and you can actually uh, do a virtual patching sort of thing temporarily to block and avoid that CV to be get exploited. So that is what the threat CV intelligence we can actually do with it. So more or the less, this is on a very high level, on a very with a very bird's eye view. This how the portal looks like. Absolutely, there are a lot of major and other important aspects which I would like to definitely explain you, but with interest of time, it will not permit me. But we will be definitely happy to get in touch with you for a short discovery of the POC, or maybe finding what exactly you are having as a external risk uh, threat, and we'll be able to give you a short report and along with the remediation to what and how exactly you can do to mitigate that risk which is associated and which is available to the external threat. With that said, I would pass it this forum to Prashant, and I would like to open maybe for a question and answer if Prashant wants to add anything onto it.
Yeah. Thank you, Amrinder, for a wonderful presentation and demonstration. Hope everybody has got a bird's eye view about what external risk management is all about. And see, believe us that today also your information is there on the dark web. It is there available. So we all that we require is that approval to from your side to scan the dark web and give you an initial report so that you become aware about what is available, and then you can present it to your management asking whether they would wish to not only mitigate those risks but also continuously monitor the dark web so that any untoward incident or any kind of data breaches, any kind of ransomware attacks, all can be mitigated. It doesn't limit to only cyber threats. It can be also maybe your C-level executives' corporate credit card information also being traded on the dark web. That is also being published here. It could be their personal email addresses that are being that if that information about those also being traded on the dark web, that is also being published here. So all in all, excellent reporting tool which will keep you on the toes and keep your infrastructure. Uh, uh, I wouldn't say 100%, but definitely 99% risk free. Please note that this information that Checkpoint is discovering is not something new. It would be already there on the dark web. It is just that we are discovering it. I guess everybody has understood the topic, and we look forward to the interested participants to take up the discussion one on one, and we'll definitely reach back to you for executing the POC. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending this webinar.